Hey guys, this is Sandra of the Alexandrite system. I don't really know how to start this video, besides, hi guys, it's Sandra of the Alexandrite system. But I've been having a lot of feelings lately that are kind of unexpected. Saturday, the 27th, is our 2-year system anniversary. February 27th, 2019 is the day that we discovered that we were a system. And on top of that, one of our good friends also recently discovered that they are a system. So seeing the things that they're going through and having this date come up rapidly has actually kind of triggered me a lot, to be honest. And that's not their fault. That's not really anyone's fault. It's just that sometimes it's sort of like how for a lot of systems, it's sort of like how for some systems, their discovery coincides with like their child or a child that they're close to reaching the age that they were at when a primary trauma happened. It can like make the system resurface. It's kind of like that, you know? It's just a perfect storm of events. And I don't like to talk a lot about the negatives of being a system on here, because our channel isn't really about that. When there are negative things, it's normally something negative in our life and how our system affects that, or how that affects our system. And I think there are plenty of other voices out there that are willing to say to singlets, like, you don't want this, these are all the things that sucks about being a system. And honestly, our channel isn't singlet focused. It's just not. But what I do know is that when I talk about these experiences on the channel, people say it helps them. So today I want to talk about the trauma of system discovery. And let me be clear when I say this. The reason that this came with so much trauma is because society does not accommodate for systems. Every story I'm going to tell here today is either a result of just ignorance, benign or malevolent, and just downright ableism. So I'm going to put a general trigger warning up for discussions of integration, trauma around bad therapists, and I guess generally ableism. Finding out in and of itself was fine and positive even, but then other things come up where you're stuck with this really kind of nasty choice where you can tell people about this and risk them not understanding in a negative way at the potential benefit of having somebody to talk to about this. Or you can choose to keep it a secret and not risk anyone potentially leaving your life as a result, but also staying exceedingly lonely. And I mean, it's not a binary choice either. Like I said in our coming out video, it's like you don't have to come out to everyone. But I feel there is a general choice to be like, do I tell most of the people I'm close to or not? So I told Mads right away, like literally within an hour. And they were accepting, and that helped. And I told a couple of other friends that I had already actively been worrying about this too. And they were also largely supportive. But, you know, I have more than 3 people in my life that I care about. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't know how to, like, format this video, because it's all so tangled up together. And it's like, I could take another 2 weeks and put this into, like, a more narratively comprehensive video, but I'm not going to do it then. So I'm just going to tell you, like, everything. Just as I think about it. I mean, one of the things was that I didn't want my friends to think that I was fucking crazy. Like I may be crazy, but, like, I don't want people to, like, to stop talking to me. So in, like, my main friend server that I was in, I just kind of casually, like, mentioned it one day, like, in a little paragraph, like, you know, Mads has been really supportive lately between this and our plurality and this. One of our friends in that server actually responded to that and was like, I didn't know that you were plural too, which, like, made my eyes bug out of my head. And so I did actually manage to talk with them a little bit, but it's still, like, I'm somebody who wants to talk about this, like, a lot, and I was somebody who was having, like, a lot of worries about it, and I didn't want to, like, exhaust all of these people in my life that knew about this, because it's, like, it's only a few of them, and I feel like even the ones that were systems weren't able to help me in the way that I needed. And then stuff with my therapist at the time was so much. So, like, I was originally going to do a video of, like, our therapy journey or whatever, aka, like, all the shitty therapists we had up until our current good one, excluding the one other good one that we had. But there's, again, just so much trauma tangled up in that I guess I should just stick it here. The therapist that we were seeing was, like, IFS trained, internal family systems. It sucks if you're a system and you encounter a therapist that uses IFS and is, like, really, really into IFS. You should be incredibly skeptical. We'll do a full video on IFS someday, but basically it's not good for systems, and it's also really not good for singlets. So she was, like, parts informed or whatever, and initially I was like, so I've been, like, you know, talking to these parts of myself, and they've been talking back, and, like, we've been getting to know each other, and I've been, like, a little bit worried about what you will think about this, because I don't want to be taking this too far. Because clearly it's a thought experiment, it's a metaphor or whatever, right? You know, they're not real. And so she actually encouraged, like, us getting to know each other, but then said that I shouldn't name them. It's like, okay, so they can have ages and genders, but not names. And she was like, you know, we want to make this clear that these are all just a part of you. There's, you know, teenage Alex and angry Alex and a bunch of bullshit. And over the next, like, 6 sessions, I would go into a session, address the thing that bothered me at the end of the last session that she said, and then we would address that and things would be okay. And then, like, at the end of the session, she would say something else that, like, really upset me. Like, she begrudgingly gave in on the name thing. And then, at the end of that session, she mentioned integration. And I know that the cool kids are calling it fusion now. You all know what I mean. But it was like, and then we would just, like, stop there. And I couldn't gather my thoughts enough to, like, fight this or whatever, or to say anything, like, really, besides, like, no, I don't want that. And, I mean, I didn't really understand the idea fully at that time, even, like, the correct idea of it. I thought it was, like, essentially everyone would just kind of collapse into one system member. I was like, you know, how does the brain even decide, like, who that's going to be? And my biggest fear, and I'm very sorry to glow into oak for saying this, but it is how I felt at that time. My biggest fear is, what if everyone integrated into glow? I don't want to be glow for the rest of my life. And so I don't even remember what my breaking point was with her. I had an excuse to skip the next session, and I said, I'll message you a date that I'll be able to have my next session. And then I ghosted her. And honestly, it felt good. The only other contact I had with her was I requested that she send me my test results for the multidimensional index of dissociation. And I remember she responded to my text saying, like, I'll send those to you, but you should know that, like, if you took that now, the results would probably be different. And it's like, not to be a millennial memer, but like, yeah, I sure hope it does. And that was the last contact I had with her. And so by the end of April, aka 2 months after discovering the system, I had no therapist. I did fairly quickly get an appointment with a therapist who outright said, I have no experience with DID, but I am trauma informed and, like, I feel I can handle this. Spoiler alert, she fucking couldn't. And, like, so I had one session with her, and in that one session, we were like, okay, we can work together further, but I'm actually moving buildings, and it's going to be a little while until I can get my practice, like, up and running again. And also, this new place is, like, an hour and 15 minutes away. So I have to go, like, across the goddamn state for this. And I know Connecticut is a small state, but driving, like, an hour plus to go see a therapist sucks. And so for, like, a month after that, I still didn't have a therapist. I, like, had a therapist, but I wasn't able to see them. And I had some really turbulent stuff happen in my life at this time. I went through a lot of traumas at once in a very, very short period of time. And I had no anchor. I had people I could talk to, but I couldn't really tell them so much about how, like, the system was affecting this and vice versa. And, like, even when I was, like, sort of out to my friends in that one Discord server, I didn't feel comfortable talking about it because I didn't know how to approach it with people. And on top of that, I was having just so many problems within our own system. Like, I mean, Claudia fucking hated me, and Glow hated me too. And, telling all of this, like, out loud, it's like, I had people, but I didn't feel able to talk to any of them, even the ones who knew. Because I felt like I was either bothering them, or they didn't believe me, or they just weren't available, which isn't their fault. I actually, during, like, a really low point at this time, I asked one of my friends, like, do you believe me about this? Is this, like, really happening, do you think? And she gave me, like, an I believe you believe kind of thing, which honestly still really hurts to this day. And it's like, we're friends, and she's, like, come around more on it, I guess. But I believe that you believe is not I believe. I believe that you believe is you're fucking crazy, but I don't want to tell you. I wasn't in any plural Discord servers either. Like, I know that's, like, a big thing for live systems, like, for support now, but I joined one right at the very beginning, and it honestly kind of freaked me out. Like, everyone there, and I'm very sorry for saying this, at that time I was like, everyone here is a fucking weirdo. Like, I feel like I'm the only normal person in this system, which is a horrible thing to think and to say. I mean, I didn't say it to them, because I'm not a completely horrible person. But it felt like, can I please know, like, a system that's not, like... And the things I just said are really, really unfair to those systems, and really cruel. But it's how I felt. And I think it's important to voice that, even if those thoughts are cruel. That's what I felt then, and I would like to acknowledge that. Honestly, it's this like internalized ableism, and it really reminds me of like a lot of my internalized transphobia, which, I mean, a lot of the systems in that server were also trans women, so I'm sure that went hand in hand. And I don't like admitting this. I don't, but it's what I felt. And it only like compounded the loneliness. And the reason that we started this channel, and the reason that we're so adamant about helping new systems in our life, is because we're carrying this giant wound. I'm carrying this giant wound of just feeling horribly isolated. And I don't know, feeling like my normal life was kind of over. And that's why I try to be so positive on this channel, you know, because your life isn't over. Like, you can just kind of continue being who you are. Maybe that's not entirely honest, but because things will change. But it's not like you're going to... I don't know what to say. This video sucks. I don't know, I've been trying to tell this for like 45 minutes, and I feel like I've only been talking for like 20. A lot of this has just been me sitting in silence, like trying to figure out what the fuck I want to say. I guess what I want to say is that if you have someone in your life who has just come out to you as a system, I know that you don't know what to say. I know that you don't. But they need you. I know Claudia has made a video on this already, but that video is saying, ask anything. This video is saying, please listen and say anything. Just not, I believe that you believe. I hate holding grudges. I do. And I hate that every negative interaction I have leaves a mark. A really bad mark. And I hate that I want to celebrate our 2-year anniversary because I am genuinely happy to be here and to have known and grown close to these lovely people I share a body with. I guess to celebrate this is to be vulnerable and to expose yourself. But exposing yourself shows all of your marks. I guess that's it. This video kind of sucks, but I guess I'm glad I sat down and said it. You know, after making my assault video, I felt like I had really, released everything. But now it's like I feel like I've just, picked a scab. Like, I've just opened this back up again. I've not been doing well.